and welcome to Mindfulness Storytime with the DC Public Library. My name is Miss Arissa, and we'll get started in just a minute. Welcome to Mindfulness Storytime. My name is Miss Arissa. Today, we're going to be exploring how to be more mindful and aware of nature and the world around us. Do you know what it means to be mindful? If you don't worry. We're going to get more into that later. But when we're done here today, you're going to have some great tips for being more mindful every single day. This story time is all about how we can slow down and be more aware of the world around us. Today, we're going to focus on nature and the natural elements of the world that we can focus on. Let's review our game plan for today. First, we're going to connect, introduce ourselves and this video. Then, we're going to breathe. Today, we're going to learn how to do a breathing ball. Third, we're going to move. Today, we're going to learn tree pose, which is a yoga pose you might be really familiar with. Number 4, we're going to focus. That's when we're going to read our story. We're going to read Gus is a tree. And then finally, number 5, we're going to relax and take a quick little savasana together to really let it all go and let our mindfulness sink in. So we're going to connect, breathe, move, focus, and relax. Adults, you are more than welcome to join us for this because we can all benefit from being more mindful each day. The breaths and movements we're going to do are very simple, and we can all do them together to be more in tune with our bodies and minds. You don't need any props or gadgets to participate today, just a place to sit, a place to watch this video, and your own body. Let's start by introducing ourselves. My name is Miss Arissa, and I work for the DC Public Library. I'm trying to be more mindful every day and take more walks so I can enjoy nature while it's nice outside before it gets too hot this summer. I love May and how windy it gets sometimes. You can really take a walk and enjoy nature. I am so excited to be here with you for more mindful moments and mindfulness story time. Wish we could all be together in the library, but doing this virtually is actually great because it reminds you that you can be mindful at home as well. Like I said, if you don't know what mindfulness is yet, that is okay. You can go back and watch our first mindfulness story time with the story Mindful Monkey, Happy Panda if you want a longer explanation. But essentially, mindfulness is about slowing down and connecting with our bodies. It's about living right here in the moment and not worrying about the past or the future. It's about being intentional and doing things with purpose. Like we mean to do that. And we're really going to focus on what we're doing. For example, to be more mindful when you eat, you might turn off the TV and focus on the food in front of you, savoring the texture and the taste, and really just letting yourself focus on the dinner and eat it with real intention, focusing on every bite. If you've heard of mindfulness, you've also probably heard of yoga. Yoga is a practice of breaths and movements that can help you be more mindful. It's about using the breath and the body together, uniting them to clear our minds, center ourselves, and find some more calm. You don't have to do yoga to be mindful, but sometimes in mindfulness, like we're going to do today, you can learn a certain yoga pose that can help you tap into your mindfulness. Let us start by now that we've introduced ourselves, let us start by moving our bodies. Let's start with a nice big stretch. So take your arms and put them right out in front of you towards the computer. Tense them and wiggle your fingers. Turn your hands around and wiggle them like you're growing up from the ground. Now spread your arms wide and reach out like you could push both walls away from you. And now reach up, reaching for the sky. Ooh. And now bring your arms back out like you're the letter T. Now we're going to nod our head like we're saying, yes, please. And now we're going to shake our head like, no, thank you. Let's reach up one more time. Ooh, look towards the sky and release your arms down. Great, thank you. Now that we've started stretching, it's time to do activity number 2. We're going to breathe together. I invite you to find a comfortable seat, whatever works for you. You can cross your legs and sit crisscross applesauce. You can sit on a chair. You can sit with your legs right in front of you or on your shins. Whatever makes you comfortable. Another way to be mindful is to focus on our breath. We breathe without even thinking about it. That's just how our bodies work. But we can do a few activities to control our breath and slow our bodies down. Today, we're going to learn about the breathing ball. But first, let's review what inhaling and exhaling is like. Inhaling is when you breathe air into your body, like you're filling up, like that's an inhale. And when we exhale, we're letting everything out. So we inhale and we exhale. Great. Now, let's put our arms out in front of us and imagine you're holding a ball. You can imagine any kind of ball, a ping pong ball, a tennis ball, a soccer ball, a beach ball. I don't recommend imagining a bowling ball because it's going to get pretty heavy fast. So imagine you're holding a ball in your hands. I'm imagining a soccer ball. It's firm in my hands. I can imagine it's right there. You can close your eyes and imagine that the ball is filling up your hand and your fingers are gripping it. Now, as we inhale, breathing in, we're going to imagine that ball getting bigger. We're filling it with air and it's growing in our hands. So as we inhale, the ball is going to get bigger. Inhale. And as we exhale, all the air comes out of the ball. Let's do that one more time. Inhale, the ball is getting bigger. And exhale, the ball goes back to its normal size. Let's do that 3 more times. Inhale, and the ball gets bigger. And exhale, the ball goes back to size. Now I'm going to imagine I have a big, big beach ball right in front of me. It's getting bigger. And it's getting smaller. Bigger. And exhale, smaller. Let's do it one more time, imagining a teeny little tennis ball. Inhale, it grows bigger. Growing as big as it's ever been. And exhale. It goes back to its normal size. Can you still feel it in your hands? I love the breathing ball because you don't need anything to do it. You can do it with a real ball and imagine it moving as you actually hold it, but you can also do it with just your imagination and use that as a way to slow your heart rate down and take a few breaths. As we return back to our normal breath, let's just take a few inhales and exhales. Inhale in and exhale out. Inhale in and exhale out. How do you feel? You can put your hands over your chest and give yourself a little hug just to check in about how you feel after we did our breathing ball activity. Now, we are going to learn a movement pose, a yoga pose, that will help us reconnect with this moment and open our hearts and minds. We're going to learn a pose called tree pose. It's also very apt because then we're going to read the story, Gus is a Tree. So let's start by talking about what yoga is. Yoga comes from a Sanskrit word that means union, because yoga is about our minds, spirits, and bodies working together in union. Join me by standing up together. I'm going to step back so you can see me. We are standing together with our feet firmly on the ground. All 4 corners of the feet are pressed into the ground. And our hands are by our side like this. We're in mountain pose, which is a really strong pose because you're like a mountain that can't be moved. Now, I want you, with your eyes, to find something ahead of you that you can focus on. It can be the computer or a water bottle or a doorknob. We just want something to focus on so that we have better balance. Once you find what you're going to focus on, what we're going to do is lift our right leg. We're going to start by putting it out in front of us, shaking it, and feeling really firmly rooted in our left foot, which is still on the ground. Now, I'm going to show you a few modifications for tree pose. You can do whatever works for you, whatever feels comfortable and helps you feel balanced. First, we're going to start by doing a kickstand. So we're turning our knee a little bit out to the side, our toes are still on the ground, and our ankle is against our heel of our foot. This is tree pose in a kickstand. If you feel comfortable, you can stay here, take some deep breaths, and just really root down with your left foot and feel how tall and proud you are with your head reaching up to the sky like a tree. So this is kickstand pose. If you feel comfortable here and want to move on up, you can lift your leg a little higher to the calf. This is tree pose as well. Remember, you're pushing your legs, the foot of your leg against the other leg, and you're rooted firmly down and you have a spot to focus on in front of you. If you're comfortable here, you can stay here and take some deep breaths. If you're with me, you can go for ultimate tree pose or a little more complex, where you're going to reach your leg up here, up to your thigh, above your knee. Make sure it's not on your knee because you don't want to get hurt. So once you have it there, you can bring your hands down. You can keep it up like this with your other hand, or focus this way. Ooh, not in these pants. So let's find whatever tree pose works for you. Again, foot out to the side. You can have kickstand or on your calf. I'm going to keep it on my calf so that you can see it. Let's put our arms out beside us and focus on the wall in front of us. And we're going to take 5 deep breaths together. Inhale in and exhale out. Inhale in and exhale out. Remember, you're rooted down strong with your left foot. If you need to lower to kickstand, no worries, whatever works for you. Inhale in and exhale out. Inhale in and let it all out. Now we're going to return to standing. You can kick your leg out, shake it, and go back to rooting firmly with both feet into the ground. We did tree pose on our right side, and now we're going to do it on the left side. If you already know where you want to go ahead. Find the tree pose that works for you. If you're with me, we're going to start by once again finding our balance spot in front of us. Then we're going to put the leg out a little bit, put it into kickstand. So the knee is facing kind of at an angle away from your leg. You can have your hands at your heart or to your side or out or touching a wall or a chair, whatever works for you. So once again, your right foot is gripping the floor, keeping you nice and strong. And we can be in kickstand, on the calf, or above the knee. I'm going to stay on the calf, and we're going to count down from 5 with 5 breaths. 1, inhale, exhale. Inhale and exhale. Inhale, exhale, and our final inhale and exhale. Now let's shake it out. That was tree pose. You can do that anywhere you want. It helps build balance and makes you feel nice and tall. Now that we've learned tree pose, it's time for our story. Gus is a tree. Gus is a tree, written by Claire Babin and illustrated by Olivier Talik. Keep an eye out for all the ways we have nature and mindful moments as Gus tells us his story. In the schoolyard, children run in every direction. They play tag and ball, they holler and they shout. But where is Gus? He is sitting peacefully under a tree, relaxing. Gus loves trees. He loves to touch their rough bark and to look at their leaves floating high above his head. The smell of wood and earth that drifts up from the ground strikes him as oddly pleasant. As Gus begins to drift off, he recalls his walk in the forest with his dad. His eyes close. Once again, he sees big slugs scattered over the ground, and he hears twigs cracking underfoot. He also recalls the bitter taste of a raw chestnut. Despite the noisy games of the other children, Gus dozes off and begins to dream. Gus dreams that he is a tree, surrounded by many other trees. There are short trees, tall trees, thick trees, and thin trees. Birches, oaks, and beeches share the forest. Gus dreams that he is a big old tree with huge branches. As the wind blows through his leaves, Gus feels ticklish all over. He shivers right down to the veins in his leaves. His branches wave and sway, rocking him just like his mommy does when he sits on her lap. Gus is surprised to see that the sun is already setting. Day ends as the last rays of the sun spread the colors of autumn across the sky. A mama wild boar and her little ones set out in search of their supper, their snouts leading the way. Stars begin to appear, twinkling across the sky. Night has fallen, but Gus isn't afraid. As it turns out, night isn't as inky black as he thought. Beneath the moon, it's almost as if a new day is beginning. Owls hoot and bats circle. Suddenly, Gus sees something stir right in front of him. It's a dormouse that scurries out of a knot in the bark of a nearby tree and darts into the night. The wind begins to blow. Clouds cover the sky. All at once, large raindrops begin to fall, hitting against the leaves. Little by little, the drumming of the rain covers the other sounds of the forest. A small stream begins to form around Gus's roots, sinking into the moss. How fresh it smells. Gus feels the clawed paws of a family of squirrels scurry down his trunk. They disappear between the trees. Suddenly, a ray of light, is it moonlight or sunlight, breaks through the dark clouds. Gus is dazzled. From far away, Gus begins to hear something strange, a sound he can't quite make out. Something like laughter or voices. Gus, wake up! You're gonna get completely soaked. Gus opens his eyes, dazed and dreamy. It is raining hard. His friends are gathered around him, their hoods over their heads. Eugene, his buddy, shakes him by the shoulder, smiling. Come on down from your cloud, Gus. It's time to go inside. That was Gus is a Tree by Claire Babin and Olivier Tollick. Gus is a great example of mindfulness. Even with all the world going on around him, he is able to root through nature to be mindful and cue into his senses, like the feel of the bark and the smell of the water and the moss. And he's able to explore memories and happiness and happy memories too through those senses. I love how this book celebrates nature and how we can just be in nature, as well as how we can be nature in our dreams, maybe. It also is great because Gus is thinking about nature and just letting it happen. He is a tree. He's not trying to grow anymore or shrink. He's not worried about anything. He is just aware of what's happening around him as a tree. Tonight, before you go to bed, I challenge you to look outside, out of your window or your door, and remember all of the magic that Gus saw outside in nature. Can you hear it? Can you smell it? What can you take in and remember that you can use as a memory to go to when you want to feel more mindful and connected to nature? Before we go, I want us to relax together. In yoga, classes often end with a savasana, or rest, which is a chance to quite literally just lay on the ground and feel supported by the earth and not have to do any more work with our bodies and minds. Today, we're going to do a seated savasana, which is kind of like a meditation almost, where we're going to sit here with our eyes closed and just feel supported by whatever we're sitting on, the ground or our chair or a couch. We're going to close our eyes so we're not seeing anything, and we're just going to tune into our breath. We're going to breathe for 15 breaths together here in our guided savasana. Find your comfortable seat. You can lay down if you want as well, or sit with your back against a wall. I'm going to sit here. We're going to close our eyes and breathe for 15 breaths. Inhale 1 and exhale 1. Inhale 2 and exhale 2. Inhale 3 and exhale 3. Inhale 4 and exhale 4. Inhale 5 and exhale 5. Inhale 6 and exhale 6. Inhale 7 and exhale 7. Inhale 8 and exhale 8. Inhale 9 and exhale 9. Inhale 10 and exhale 10. Inhale 11 and exhale 11. Inhale 12 and exhale 12. Inhale 13 and exhale 13. Inhale 14 and exhale 14. Last one. Inhale, big inhale 15 and exhale 15. Let it all out. Now you can blink your eyes open, look left and right and up and down, and bring some movement back to your bodies. You can wiggle your arms, shake your head side to side. Thank you all for joining me for Mindfulness Storytime today. I hope I've given you some tips and tricks for how to be more mindful in every day. And thank you for reading with me as we read Gus is a Tree by Claire Babin and Olivier Talik. It is available from the DC Public Library. I hope to see you next week for another Mindfulness Storytime on May 21st at 4 p.m. You can tune in every weekday at 4 p.m. for more family learning activities with the DC Public Library. Have a great day.